just overload combo, and there's no White's going to lose the house here. I mean, this is just pack it up, it's over. So definitely not going to work with that. So going back, so obviously the pawn takes move simply doesn't work. So what's another move here? Well, the one move that would instantly come to mind for me would be something like bishop b6, right? If you're getting attacked, go ahead and counterattack. Well, it appears this move most likely loses as well. So rook here, and maybe an attempt to get out of the position, and go ahead and win that pawn. And black is definitely not going to take back. I mean, there's no way. Black's candidate move would be rook a2, but rook a2 doesn't quite work here because there's no threat. That bishop is no longer hanging, so it got out of there with tempo. However, and also an important note, rook a2, and now if White tries to take, let's say Black tries knight c8 first, White can get out of this and keep the bishop on a5. And now Black is, the initiative is dissipated and he's down a pawn, but he's got good sufficient chances on the king side for equality. So a little bit of move order is important here because at rook a2 in the beginning, this is not going to refute bishop b6. But knight c8 would appear to, because now, maybe this was White's best continuation to go into something like this. Sacrifice a piece, something like this, and White has a couple of pawns for the piece. It looks like he's got 3 pawns. It's probably going to be pretty difficult, especially with his king so weakened, and it's not that easy to just give up a piece. So it seems like bishop b6 does not quite get out of it either. So I think the best move for White here, based on the game continuation, is the game continued with a5, but I think the best move here, possibly knight b1, and this looks like a cop-out. Knight b3, I mean, this is simply gonna give up a piece as well. So White's position looks solid. I mean, it looks like all these pieces are working together in the center, and they're all, but they're not really coordinated. They're more cramped together, with no space to breathe and support each other than anything else. So the continuation that I think might be the best, I think knight b1, and this is just simply going to lead to Black is up a protected pass pawn, essentially, and this is going to be very, not to mention the weakened king side, threats of g4 lingering, threats of, let's just say something like this knight coming into sacrifice on f4, and there's a lot of pieces on the board, so that protected pass pawn, that's going to be an easy victory, especially at this level. So knight b1, no dice. So what Ivanchuk came up with at the board, and he started getting fairly low on time here. I think he was around 3 minutes, and Nakamura is about 17 minutes. And for a blindfold game, the time limit in this tournament, Amber, is 25 minutes for each side with a 20-second increment. So there is an increment, but playing blindfold is pretty tough. And so a5 is the move that Ivanchuk chose, which is logical enough. You want to neutralize this rook being activated, and it seems like it somewhat tries to diffuse the dynamic situation that Black has created over there. So it is going to be tough for White, but he's also got some counterplay threats of c4 now. And if he can generate enough activity as a distraction on the queen side, then maybe Black doesn't really get all these threats going in motion in time. So Black has a simple, just very logical move. I mean, it's when I study games of very top players, I can't help but notice, it's not magic. It's simply logical what the players are trying to do. There's sometimes it seems out of nowhere you'll see some kind of shot or something like that, but much more often than not, it's going to be a logical preparation and development towards a unified strategy. So rook d7, I mean, just double the pieces, and this bishop happens to not be able to move. And so let's say White tried to get it out of there, create a little space. Well, that just doesn't work. So the lack of coordination in White's camp is really telling here. Maybe another move here was possibly something something along these lines, but this seems a little suspect to me. This doesn't seem quite right, and I think White's going to be losing a piece in this variation as well. He simply can't defend this bishop and this bishop at the same time, so the rooks are looking pretty clumsy, especially that rook on e2. So it's a little too late to bail out in this position. Even something like it just seems too slow. Although maybe this gets out. It just seems too slow, and black is definitely pressing a lot here. There's not many moves for white. Definitely nothing over here. So I think after rook d7, Ivanchuk was getting a little low on time. It looks like maybe he could have slipped out of it there in a complete grubble, but I'm not so convinced. It seems like the simple queen takes f3, for example, just winning a pawn. Something just smells fishy in all of these lines. Seems very tough. So I bishop b6 here. A logical move. I mean, he had just played a5 one move before, so the pawn goes up. It's no longer, giving up a pawn there. The bishop's exerting pressure, exerting control over the d8 square, so black's going to have a little difficulty kind of coordinating his pieces and attacking on the d file. Also gets the bishop out of the scope of this knight. So bishop b6 was a worthy try, but knight c8 is just... It's very simple, very logical. Remove this, open this rook up to be active, and also clear this square for the queen. So it accomplishes two goals. It activates this rook, which is going to be deadly along the a file, and also puts the queen into action on d8, and that's going to be a lot of pressure on the d file. These pieces are both pretty loose. And here I believe it's just lost. Bishop c5 was a try, although knight b1 it seems to me is the best attempt. But even after something, let's say something like this, there's no way to defend the bishop, and this f3 pawn is hanging. So this can't move in light of that. And if rook here, this is going to be over. And the queen comes in to exert even more pressure, not to mention some mating threats possibly. So, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem there's any other way out. So white tries bishop c5, which is logical. He prevented this rook from getting in the game, but with a simple queen d8, this piece is lost. So there's no way to get out of it. It's very cramped up. And I like the game. It does amaze me how well some players can play blindfold. Certainly, I mean, this game was about 27 moves long, and definitely some advanced tactics, everything like that. But it shows a good principle nonetheless, blindfold game or not, that you should always stay extremely aggressive from the very first move, and he who controls the initiative will probably win the game. Just continually creating threats and maintaining and applying pressure on your opponent. They're going to slip up, and it's much tougher. So this is Will Stewart from OnlineChessLessons.net, and thanks for listening.